Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. War Games is a 1983 science fiction techno-thriller film that was written by Lawrence Lasker and Walter Parks and was directed by John Badham. It stars Matthew Broderick, Dabney Coleman, John Wood, and Ally Sheedy. The storyline follows high school student David Lightman, played by Matthew Broderick, who unwittingly hacks into a military supercomputer while he's searching for new video games. After starting a game of global thermonuclear war, he leads the supercomputer to activate the nation's nuclear arsenal in response to his simulated threat as the Soviet Union. Once the clueless hacker comes to his senses, with the help of his girlfriend, he must find a way to alert the authorities to stop the onset of the Third World War. There were several nuclear launch close calls that influenced the writers of this movie, including an incident at NORAD on November 9, 1979. When information on a training simulation tape concerning Soviet sub-launches was accidentally fed into the warning system, and for 6 minutes, the American military complex went into high alert. Only after no Soviet missiles were detected did the U.S. stand down from their response. Training simulations were accordingly moved off-site of NORAD after this incident. In the movie, one of the scenarios fed to NORAD operators by Joshua is an influx of encroaching Soviet missile subs. The NORAD command center built for the movie cost about $1 million to construct, making it one of the most expensive sets ever constructed at the time. The producers were not allowed into the actual NORAD command center, so they just had to imagine what it was like. It's said that the real command center isn't nearly as elaborate as the one that was made for the movie. The director states that the Jeep trying to crash through the gate at NORAD and then turning over was an actual accident. The Jeep was supposed to continue on through the gate. They added the scene of the characters running from the Jeep and down the tunnel and used the botched Jeep stunt in the film. The tunnel and the exteriors used for the entrance into NORAD is located in Griffith Park in L.A. That same tunnel was used to enter and exit Toontown in Who Framed Roger Rabbit from 1988. And in the climax of Back to the Future Part 2 in 1989. The studio, in order to prepare Matthew Broderick for his role, had the arcade machines Galaxian and Galaga delivered to his home. He practiced on these games for 2 months to prepare for the arcade scene. Now, I'm not a video game player, nor was I ever, so I hope I pronounced these two games correctly. I may have not. The computer that's in David's room is an IMSAI 8080. According to the person who supplied the computer, Matthew Broderick saved a day of shooting by figuring out a program sequence for the keyboard on his own after the instructions for it were lost. In the scene where Broderick is picked up by the FBI, that was filmed at a 7-Eleven in Big Bear Lake, California. As of 2019, that 7-Eleven and the State Farm Insurance Agency that was next door to it is still there. The older hut-style McDonald's to the west of the 7-Eleven has been replaced with a modern McDonald's nowadays. Actor John Wood provided the voice for Joshua. This is made apparent towards the end of the movie when Falcon is talking to Jennifer and David after he plays the dinosaur movie. Although the computer voice is enhanced mechanically, the inflection of Wood's voice and the computer are spot on. A video game version of the movie was made in 1984 for the Commodore 64 and the Atari 8-bit computer. That game started out by greeting you as Professor Falcon, as you would then go on to play a game of thermonuclear war. Your objective was to stop nuclear war from occurring by protecting the country with various military vehicles and weapons in a set time limit without reaching DEFCON 1. The movie was shown to President Ronald Reagan at Camp David in the summer of 1983. He reportedly loved it, but he also took a lot from it, that being the message of outside dangers influencing what the U.S. military does via computer misuse. In 1984, he started proposing a draft to make such an act a criminal offense, and also for the military to start investigating potential weaknesses that were depicted in the movie. The release of the film resulted in a substantial spike in interest of computer hacking and an increase in actual penetration of computer systems. This film inspired Congress to create the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act of 1984. When opening the proceedings about this act, they showed a 4-minute clip of this movie, and the House committee stated that war games showed a realistic representation of the automatic dialing and access capabilities of a personal computer. Though he wasn't a hacker by any means, the filmmakers thought that it was very important for Matthew Broderick to appear really proficient at a computer. As a result, Broderick was asked to learn to type for the film, and he himself thought it was a real important part of preparing for that movie. Now, Ally Sheedy, who plays his girlfriend in the film, was one of the brightest and most popular stars of the 1980s. In just a real short period, she was in starring roles in this film, St. Elmo's Fire, and The Breakfast Club. Following all this success, she seemed by many to just have dropped out of sight. But she did continue acting, but only in low-budget projects and not for the big studio productions at all. In later years, during interviews, she explained why she turned her back on Hollywood. At the time of her success, during her heyday, she suffered from bulimia and also an addiction to sleeping pills. This was a very difficult time in her life, prompting an intervention from friends to get her checked into a substance abuse treatment center. She found that doors in Hollywood had completely closed to her, and she really didn't feel like kissing a lot of butt to get back into the clique. After she was finally dropped by her agent, she decided to leave LA and move back to New York, where everything first began. Take a look at this fun film. It really is a good movie. I think you'll enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.